All right, everyone, so I've been coming up with some new sequences. They are related to the old sequences, so you're probably going to see a lot of familiar material, but you might also see some new things. So I like to keep it, I like variety, and it's not just the personal preference of variety, it actually is very good for us to move our body in different ways. So those of you who've been taking the class for a few weeks, which all of you have noticed that every week we're doing different things, and I've just about doubled. So we had about 6 sequences before, now we have 12. And I'm going to be rolling those out. There might still be some little rough spots and stuff, but hopefully everything will be smoothed out pretty soon. But again, the variety is there partly to keep us interested, partly to keep us from getting too dogmatic or too stuck in kind of one way of doing things. And then also, again, from a physiological perspective, cross-training is really recommended. And so this is, you might think of it as a kind of cross-training. Yes, it's all yoga, but some yoga is like a sequence, and you just do the same sequence every single time. So that's what I think you want to avoid. It's fine to do a sequenced class, but then you need to do some other stuff too. So that's what we're doing, is we're just changing it up every week. So let's go ahead and find a seat. Sit tall so that you can bring a sense of alertness to your practice. But at the same time, relax your face, jaw, lips, and shoulders. And take a moment to notice if you're holding on to any kind of tension, if you're resisting anything in this moment, be it a sound, a sensation, a thought, or a feeling. And see if you can invite that in, that awareness in. Invite it in, welcome it. And just notice if there isn't a softening of any sort of sense of anxiety or tension that may have been there. So it's quite ironic that we resist certain things for whatever reason, and we find that that creates tension and anxiety, and we assume it's the presence of that feeling, that thought, that stimulus, that sense perception that's causing the anxiety and the tension. But actually it's not. It's actually our resistance of it. And that is something that we have control over. Now the key is being aware enough. So most of us don't realize we're resisting, and we don't realize we're creating tension. So that's what I'm inviting you to do now, is just to scan your whole experience for anywhere where you might be trying to hold on to something or trying to push something away. Now, generally, it's fairly easy to do when you're seated like this. It gets more difficult as you begin to introduce breathing and then movement. But that is the essence of what we're doing here today, is to strike a pose and then try and really relax into it, meaning really invite in all the sensations, all the thoughts, all the emotions that come along with holding our body in that shape. So let's add the breathing now. Inhale, fill first your belly, your ribs, and then the upper chest. And as you exhale, just reverse that. That's called Dirga. Notice if that technique had brought in any tension or resistance, and see if you can do the technique while just staying in that open, relaxed, inviting, welcoming space. From there, we'll begin to add the Ujjayi sound, that ocean sound at the back of the throat. This is like fogging a mirror, but you keep your mouth closed, breathing in and out through the nose. I think it's still fairly easy to stay in that open, inviting, relaxed space while doing the breathing. I think it gets much, much harder as we begin to introduce movement. So just keep that in mind. Let's exhale. We'll come forward to a tabletop position. And we begin with the cat-cow. So inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head up. Exhale, tuck tailbone, round the back, crown of the head down. Good. So do that and repeat that enough times to feel that you have created some sense of change in your torso muscles and your spinal column so that it's a little freer or easier to move. And then we'll come back to a neutral spine, bring our knees to touch, take a nice deep breath. Exhale, hips to one side, look in the opposite direction. So kind of like a dog that's trying to grab its own tail. And each time you drop the hips, see if you can feel a stretch in the outside of that hip, maybe in the waist as well. Good. Let's come back to neutral. Bring our hands to touch, and then we inhale the right arm up, follow with your gaze, exhale that hand down, inhale left hand up, and just side to side with the breath. Good. Let's come back to neutral. We'll tuck those toes, lift the hips. We come into a downward dog now. And just pedaling those feet back and forth, we try and stretch. Just give everything a good stretch. You can roll over the toes, you can circle the ankles, bend the knees, or kick the legs. And then we come into a very foundational posture for this style of yoga called the downward dog. The hands are shoulder width, fingers are spread wide. The four pads under the knuckles firmly planted in the ground. The chest actively draws toward the toes, feet hip distance, heels reaching toward the ground. And for me, one of the most important aspects of this posture is that it creates a sense of openness in your chest and belly and allows you to breathe even more fully and deeply into these parts of your body. With the next exhalation, we'll walk our feet
to the hands, coming into a ragdoll. You can grab the opposite elbow, dangling at the front edge of your mat. You might sway the hips or bend the knees, nod or shake your head. And then with everything loose, you relax those arms and inhale, roll on up to standing. Okay, so let's do some sun salutations now. With the feet touching if you're able. Inhale, arms up, touch palms and lift the heart. And extend from your pubic bone through your chin, stretching the entire front of your body evenly if possible. If there is any pain in your neck, then just tuck your chin. And if there's pain in your back, just pull out of the back bend enough so that you do not feel any pain. Good, let's inhale back through center and we'll exhale into a forward fold. Bend the knees if necessary, place the palms flat. And then inhale, come to your fingertips, and exhale, step to the top of a push-up for plank pose. Line the ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. Make sure your wrists are directly below your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, drop the knees, bend the arms, and come down about halfway. Take a breath here with your elbows hugging the ribs. They don't have to touch, but they're close. And then exhale the rest of the way down. Inhale, press the tops of your feet and your palms into the ground as you lift your head, neck, and chest. Exhale, come down, press back to tabletop, and then to downward facing dog. All right, let's do another sun salutation. So we inhale to the toes, between the hands. Exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhale back up to standing back bend, and this time we grab the right wrist with the left hand, hips go to the right, and we pull the arm to the left, and just really lengthening that entire right side of our body, especially from the hip through the wrist. Okay, let's inhale back to center. We exhale to the other side. This is called half moon. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale into forward fold. Inhale to half lift and exhale, step to the top of your push-up. So your option, knees or down. The key when doing push-ups is to bend your arms deeply, however. So if keeping your knees up prevents you from bending your arms deeply, then just drop those knees. Take a nice deep breath, shift the weight forward, exhale halfway down, and then inhale to upward facing dog. Your knees are off the ground. If you want your knees on the ground, then repeat the cobra instead. And as you exhale, pull both feet in at the same instant as you lift your hips up and back for down dog. Okay, from our downward dog, let's inhale to the toes between the hands, and we exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling back up to standing back bend. Exhale to half moon, creating a little flow. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to center. Exhale, sit back in an imaginary seat. Hips back and down. Knees over the heels and arms straight up and back.
tuck that tailbone slightly to keep you from going into a back bend here. Let's take a nice deep breath. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to half lift, and if you're able to, just step, jump, or float to the bottom of a push-up. Inhale to upward facing dog, and if you can, push up on your way back out again. Let's breathe. All right, so let's bring our feet to touch here in down dog. We'll inhale the right leg up and back, and as we exhale, we're going to pull the knee in toward the belly, out to the right and back behind, just making really big circles, and do a few in each direction. And feel the condition of your hip and leg as you move it. Let's take a nice deep breath, and as we exhale, we will lunge, and then inhale, come into this position, and then as you exhale, bring your hands down, rock your hips back into this position, gently stretch back here, and then inhale, back up, stretch the front of the left hip, exhale, come back, like this, stretch the back of the right leg, okay? We're gonna do that a few more times. Inhale, front of the left hip. Exhale, back of the right thigh. 2 more. Left hip. Right thigh, 1 more time. Beautiful. Let's inhale back, up, and exhale bottom of the push-up. Make your way to down dog. Good, so side 2, we bring feet to touch. Inhale that left leg up and back. Exhale, knee toward the belly, out to the left, back behind. And then reverse. Good, take a nice deep breath, exhale, lunge, inhale, and exhale. Okay, good. So just gently stretching front of the right hip, back of the left thigh. Okay, 3 more times. Two more. And 1 more time. Good, inhale. And exhale. Make your way to down dog. Okay, from our downward dog, we'll come into a pose called turbo dog. Okay, so do your best to do this, and you should be able to do some of it. It's basically a variation of down dog. And what we'd like to do is bend our elbows and bring them toward the ground. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So my elbows aren't going out to the side. It's not like chicken wings. Dropping the elbows toward the ground as close as I can get without touching the ground. And I think you can feel that engages the shoulders more. So the lower you come, generally the more challenging it is. Shoulders are engaged. And your arms might wobble a little bit as you do that. And that's just part of the pose, strengthening those upper body muscles.
All right, from our turbo dog, let's inhale to our toes, exhale to the front edge of the mat, and we'll inhale up to standing. And let's exhale our hands to the hips. Let's take a look at a pose called Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. And this is the extended hand to foot pose. Okay. So we'll start with a very basic variation that everyone should be able to do. Okay, so the first variation is our feet are touching, shift weight to that left foot, bend the right knee, and just bring the leg up. And then you can support the leg in one of two ways. You can hold the shin like so, or you can hold behind the knee. Okay, so if you'd like a deeper stretch, hold behind the knee and then try straightening the leg. It may not go all the way straight. Now notice that my back is straight, so I'm not doing this and then coming forward like that. Okay, back is nice and straight, and I just try and straighten that leg, and I'm creating a nice stretch in the back of this thigh here. Okay, so again, you could be here, just working on your balance. There's not so much stretch here. There might be if you're really tight, but this is going to give you the stretch. Okay, let's release that side, and we'll just do the other side. Same thing, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. So we shift weight to that right foot, we bend the left knee. Again, here, if I'm working more on my balance. And then here, if I want to work my flexibility along with my balance. Good, let's exhale, release that. And then we inhale to our standing back bend. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift or maybe a crow pose this time, Bakasana. And you exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, push up on your way back to downward facing dog. Okay, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back. This is three-legged dog pose. Let's keep that hip down, the leg straight and lifted, pressing through the heel toward the wall behind us. Now take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, go ahead and lunge. Drop that back knee down. Inhale up. And then exhale, hands down, rock the hips back so the hips are directly over the left knee. And you notice this leg is still bent. So what I'll do is I'll take that leg out straight like so. Okay, this is called a half triangle. I'm folding over this right thigh, stretching the back of this thigh. And what I'd like is a deeper stretch. And I'd like a stretch that's held. So I'm just going to hold this stretch here. Good. As I inhale, come back to this position and exhale to the bottom of the push-up, making my way back to down dog. Okay, let's do the other side. So feet touch, inhale, left leg up and back. That's three-legged dog. Very much about the alignment of the limbs, so see if you can get that alignment. And then exhale as you lunge, and then inhale to a low lunge just quickly, and then we exhale and come into our half triangle for a few breaths. Good, let's inhale. We come back to our low lunge. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to downward dog. All right. So from here, let's take a look at something called a forearm plank. So what you do is you exhale down to a tabletop, and then you'll drop down to your forearms. And this first time, let's measure. So we reach across, we grab the opposite arm, bring our forearms to the ground like so. And then what we'd like is to tuck our toes and bring the shoulders directly over the elbows. And then if you drew a line from my shoulders, it would intersect my hips and my knees before it reaches my heels. So common errors in this posture look like this, with the butt way up in the air, or that with the hips hanging. And if this is too much, you just drop your knees, okay? But otherwise you're here. Again, not too much back bend, so we're not dropping that belly. We can take the pubic bone and bring it up toward the sternum slightly, but without lifting the hips. And the main thing here is, again, shoulders engaged. So I'm not collapsing down. I'm engaged here. Good. From there, let's return to downward facing dog. From down dog, we inhale to the toes and we exhale front edge of the mat. Inhale to our standing back bend and exhale hands to hips. Okay, let's take a look at the real version of Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Now, if that last version, the prep version, was challenging, then just repeat that. Okay, this thing. All right, maybe you did this the first time, you can try that this time, okay? If you're moving ahead, then what you'll do is this time you'll grab the big toe or the outside edge of the foot, it's fine. Again, notice my back is nice and straight. From there, what I'd like to do with an exhalation is take the leg out straight. So both legs are straight, back is straight. Good. To release, inhale the arm up, keep the leg lifted, and exhale the hand and the leg. Let's do the other side. To release, inhale, arm up, and exhale, let it go. Inhale, standing back bend, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, crow, or maybe handstand this time. Exhale, bottom of your push-up, make your way to downward dog. Okay, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee, right arm. Inhale. Exhale to the center. Inhale. Exhale to the opposite arm. Inhale. And exhale as you lunge. And then inhale to crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Okay, so in this pose, the front foot and knee point straight ahead. The knee lunges directly over the heel, left hip forward, right hip back.
Left leg is straight and the heel is pressing toward the ground. So it's not this. Sometimes I see students doing this. That's not what we're doing. We're pressing the heel back. Heel is raised because of the position of the foot, not because I'm lifting it up. Good. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And we exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to downward dog. Okay, feet touching. Let's inhale that left leg up and back. We exhale, touch the knee to the arm. Inhale, lift it. Exhale to the center. Try and touch your nose, chin, or forehead. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, try and touch the opposite arm as high as you can. Good. Inhale that leg up and back. Exhale as you lunge. And then inhale to a crescent lunge. Front thigh is working. Back hip is stretching. Breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. Let's take a full breath in. We exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to downward facing dog. Okay, so from here, let's come down into our forearm plank. Again, if you need to measure, you can do that. And from our forearm plank, which is here, we're going to come into what's called a dolphin plank. So to do the dolphin plank, I make sure my shoulders are engaged, and I walk my feet up, 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 pretty much as I can. All right, now the tendency here is to collapse here or to try and put your head on the ground for support. Don't do that. Use those shoulders. If it's too much, you come back to here. Okay, if that's too much, you drop those knees. So this is, again, shoulder, upper body, core strengthening exercise. You are pressing the ground away from you using your shoulders. Okay, good. From there, let's come back to our downward dog. From the down dog, we inhale to the toes and exhale, front edge of our mat. Inhale up to standing back bend. And we exhale, hands to the hips. Let's take a look at Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, second variation. So we shift the weight to the left foot, we bend the right knee. Okay, and then again, I can do this and I'll come here. All right, otherwise, big toe, and then you extend out to the side. This arm can come out for counterbalance, and if you want to challenge your balance more, you look out over the opposite fingertips. Good, take a nice deep breath and exhale, release the pose. Now, if there's any pain in your back, bend the knee. Okay, do the easier variation with the knee bent. Don't hurt your back doing this, okay? Good, take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Release the pose. Inhale to standing back bend and exhale forward fold. Inhale half lift. Exhale bottom of the push-up, making your way to downward dog. Okay, so from here, let's bring our feet to touch. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to right arm. Inhale. Exhale to the center. Inhale. Exhale to the opposite arm. Kick it out. Drop the back heel. And inhale the left arm up into a noon position, like hands on a clock. And you're in fallen triangle. This is a great prep for side plank. If this is too much, you drop that bottom knee to the ground like so. Okay, otherwise, keep that leg straight, keep those hips lifted. Exhale that hand down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale to a crescent lunge. And then exhale, hands to your hips. And step the back foot in. Go ahead and straighten that front leg. Okay, so both legs are straight. Both heels are on the ground. My feet are about hip distance apart, toes facing forward. And now what I'd like to do is inhale my hands up between the shoulder blades, palms touching if possible. And that may not be possible. That's okay. If you cannot do that, you grab the opposite wrist or opposite elbow. Okay? Let's take a nice deep breath in. We exhale into Parsvottanasana. And again, we're releasing and stretching the back of that right thigh here. Good. Inhale, bend that knee. Hands to the ground. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to downward facing dog. Let's do the same sequence of postures on the other side. Feet touch. We inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee high up on the arm. Inhale. Exhale to the center. Inhale. Exhale, opposite arm. Kick the foot out. Drop the back heel. Inhale, the arm up, fallen triangle pose. Good. Exhale the hand down. Inhale that leg up and back. And exhale as you lunge. And then we inhale to our crescent lunge. And exhale, hands to hips. Step the back foot in. Square the hips to the front edge of the mat. Inhale your hands up. Palms together, if possible. Otherwise, use the modification. Take a nice deep breath and exhale, hinge from the hips. Good. Inhale, bend that knee. Exhale, bottom of your push-up. Make your way to downward facing dog. Okay, so let's come down to our forearm plank. Okay,
Okay, again, shoulders are engaged. From forearm plank, come up to dolphin plank, shoulders engaged. And from dolphin plank, bend your knees, walk your feet in, and bring your knees into the back of your arms or hug the upper arm with the inside of your knees. Now listen carefully. Bring your face very close to the ground without touching. Again, shoulders are engaged, so you are actively trying to press the ground away from you. And then try lifting one set of toes, the other set of toes, and then try both together. So this is a type of forearm stand. It's baby crow or baby bakasana. Again, we're getting used to using these shoulder muscles, which very often become very, very weak. And we actually are supporting the entire weight of our body just on our arms, our forearms, okay? Okay, so from there, let's come on back to our downward dog. From down dog, we inhale to the toes, look to the hands. Exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhale up to standing back bend. And again, exhale, hands to hips. Okay, so once again, if I have tight hamstrings, if I have back issues that are showing up here, I'm going to do this next variation with the knee bent. So I shift weight to my left foot. I bring my right leg up. And I will hold the shin with the opposite arm. And then I take a twist, looking back over the shoulder. If I can do it with the legs straight, I grab the big toe or the outside edge of the foot. I like the outside edge of the foot for this one. And then as I exhale, I extend the leg and extend the arm, taking a nice deep twist. Again, I'm looking back over my right shoulder. I'm trying to stand as tall and as straight as I can. Good, take a nice deep breath, exhale, and release the pose. Let's do the other side. Inhale back to center, exhale, release the pose. Beautiful. Let's inhale up to standing back bend and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale right to the bottom of your push-up. Make your way to down dog. Okay, in down dog, let's bring our feet to touch. Inhale the right leg up and back, bend the knee, open the hip. Okay, so it's kind of an awkward position, but see if you can hold it without pain. And then if you'd like, if you feel okay with your shoulders, flip that over and just move that arm that's in the air. This is called wild thing. Flipping your dog. Okay, good. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge, and then exhale into Virabhadrasana 3. Okay, so that back leg is lifting up, parallel with the ground. Torso and arms parallel the ground. Sometimes people do this. If you have really bad balance, you can do that. And then sometimes people do this. I don't really recommend that. So see if you can bring those arms forward. Of course, if your shoulders are injured, you can bring your hands down here. But otherwise, try and get those arms up. Fire up those shoulders. Again, they tend to be very weak. Good. Let's take a nice deep breath. We exhale bottom of the push-up. Make our way back to downward dog. And from down dog, let's bring feet to touch. We inhale left leg up and back. And then we bend the knee, open up the hip, and maybe, if it makes sense for you, you flip your dog, move that arm around a little bit. Good. Take a nice deep breath and exhale, lunge. Inhale to a high lunge and exhale to a warrior three. Good. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale bottom of the push-up, making your way to downward facing dog. All right. From here, let's come down to hands and knees, and we'll take a look at crow pose. So again, you can repeat turbo dog, forearm plank, dolphin plank, baby crow pose, if this does not seem appropriate for you right now, okay? So, to do the crow pose, our arms are bent deeply. So I have basically a right angle, 90-degree angle here. My wrists, elbows, and shoulders are basically stacked. So again, I'm avoiding elbows out to the sides. I'm tucking them in on purpose, okay? Now, I'd like to keep my arms like this. The tendency is for people to do that when they do the arm balance, and this makes it very hard, okay? So I keep my arms bent, and I bring them down to the ground. So you notice my face is getting really close to the ground. That's just the way to do it, to start, okay? Again, I'm tucking in those elbows. Shoulders are engaged. Now, hips go way up into the air. Gaze is forward. I shift weight onto my arms, and I try and find the balance point. The balance point is when my toes start to get really light. Okay, at that point, I try lifting the feet one at a time. I see what happens. Does my arm collapse? Well, if it does, then I may not have the strength for this today. If they don't, then I can try lifting both toes at the same time. And that's called crow pose, Bakasana. From there, I can drop my hips and begin straightening my arms and lifting my gaze more, which is a more full expression of crow pose. But get used to doing the normal version first, okay? Okay, beautiful. From there, let's just make our way back to down dog. You can take a vinyasa if you'd like, or you can go straight back to down dog. And then we'll inhale to our toes, exhale front edge of the mat. We inhale up to standing, and then let's take a look at one more arm balance. And this is the one-legged crow pose, second variation. I probably shouldn't have had you do all that stuff. From crow pose, so if you still don't have crow pose, work on crow pose. If you're ready for this next posture, what you'd like to do is take your right leg and put it over your shoulder like so, like a backpack, like you're putting on a backpack. And then I'm going to turn so you can see me. You're going to take the other shin and place it just like in crow pose on the back of this left arm, the arm's bent. And then you try and lift both feet at the same time, straightening the front leg as much as you can. Okay, and that's called one-legged crow pose. It is asymmetrical, so you'll want to do the both sides if you're doing that, okay? So it's like a combination of Titibhasana, which is firefly, and crow pose. All right, beautiful, everybody. From there, let's go ahead and come down into a child pose. We'll rest. If child pose is not agreeing with you, then choose another just comfortable, relaxing position for your body. Good, and then let's extend our arms out in front of us. Take a nice deep breath. As we exhale, we walk the hands over to the left and stretch the right side of the body. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, stretch the left side of your body. Good, let's inhale, come on back to center. And we'll come down onto our belly. Arms out at the sides, palms down, legs straight behind you, and then inhale, lift everything off the ground. Try and get your thighs up, try and get your abdomen off the ground. Keep lifting. Good, exhale, come all the way down and relax. The next exhale, press your hips back to your heels. Child pose once again. And then inhale, sit up, cross the ankles and bring your legs out in front of you. Good. And then let's bend our right knee. We take that over the left thigh. Bend our left foot and bring that, oh, sorry, other way around. So bend the left leg, bring that over the right thigh. Bend your right knee, bring that foot alongside the left hip. Good. And then inhale the right arm up. Exhale it over the knee, twisting to the left. Good. We inhale back to center. We exhale and switch legs. So same thing on the other side. So right knee over left. Inhale right arm, exhale. Inhale left arm and exhale it over. Good, we inhale, come on back, and exhale, take those legs out in front of us. Okay, let's have the legs and back straight.
But if when you straighten your legs, your back looks like this, you'll bend your knees until you can straighten out your back, okay? And then you just keep the knees bent for now. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, folding forward, grabbing the outside edges of the feet or the big toes. Take a nice deep breath in, lengthen and straighten the spine. And as you exhale, use your arms to gently coax you into Paschimottanasana. All right, arms are with the ears. We inhale and come on up. And then exhale, we'll roll back onto our back. Once you get there, draw those legs in, give them a nice squeeze. Rock around a little bit, move around a little bit, release your back. And then extend the arms to the side, drop knees to the left as you look to the right. And let your breath be natural. Good, we inhale knees back to center and we exhale them off to the other side. Good. Inhale, knees back to center. Grab soles of your feet, pulling your knees down, stretching out the legs, pulling them apart, rolling on your back, pulling your legs overhead. And when you're ready to relax, you unwind onto your back. Your heels are apart, your palms are up, head is centered, chin is tucked in slightly. And the eyes are closed. This is called Shavasana. So my recommendation is set a timer for 6 minutes and just don't do anything. Don't move your body at all for 6 minutes.